Okay, folks, it's your buddy, Mike Messier. Just saw the movie, documentary, God and Country. This is one of those documentaries that is really more like an opinion rather than an exploration. Michael Moore, our buddy there, kind of made this a popular thing, going back, I believe, to 91 or 92 with Roger and Me, and his other films, where you basically have a point of view that you want to get across. So you make a movie, call it a documentary, but it's really an agenda-based film, which is what it is. So now, what's this movie about? It's interesting topic, timely topic of Christian nationalism. And what would that be? Well, basically, as I would understand it from this wonderful, basically the film is kind of exploring events in recent years. I just got this new phone case, and I'm trying to stick my phone on its pedestal here, but it no longer works because it's not the same case, and I don't have this magnet thing on the fucking new case, folks. So I'm trying to do something that can't be done. I don't know how I feel about this case. Let me get back to this movie. I'm tired. I've had a long day of driving. I may not be the best to judge this film. I was drowsy. I won't blame the film. I just drove from fucking Texas to Florida in the last day. So I'm a little bit tired. And because of situations, I'm timing my events of the day, of the night. So I went to see this film in order to basically bide my time before another happening. Okay. So what would I say? Should you see it? I guess one of these movies where I don't think you're going to, whatever your belief system is on these things, I guess Trump, I don't think your opinion's going to be changed one way or the other. Maybe if you're a real hardcore Trumpite and you see some of these things in the context of this film, your opinions might be changed somewhat, maybe not. I do feel one thing that I felt that this film was lacking. And basically this film, I wouldn't call it an attack. I'd say it's an analysis, but it's all very one-sided. I mean, what you would like to have, I would think, in a film like this, it's a lot of talking head, a lot of, footage of recent events from, 2016 onward. Have some people that are defending, these churches. I mean, there's so many clips of these pastors that are kind of, mixing religion and politics. They're making a case that the Republican Party has been overwhelmed or overtaken by this Christian nationalism, wrapping the Bible, Jesus. There is a image in this film from, I believe, the January 6, 2021 riot. Someone took the famous, white Jesus portrait and they put him in a MAGA hat. But talk to some of these people, have them as talking heads. I mean, what I want from this documentary, which I'm not receiving unless I slept through this, give me some why. Don't just tell me what or the threat. Talk to, who's that clown, the fucking whatever the fuck, the QAnon shaman or whatever the fuck he was. Talk to him. You know what I mean? I've seen him do other interviews. He's actually a well-spoken enough individual. He was trying to get all this vegetarian food in prison, which I thought was funny. But talk to some of these poor boys or some of these other, extremists. Sit them down. Give them a forum to discuss. Let's not just say what. Give me some why, okay? I mean, if we're going to explore these issues, let's talk to some of the people that you may think of as the enemy or the threat or the danger, but let's hear what they have to say so at least we know what the fuck they're thinking, if nothing else. I don't know if the filmmakers reached out to any of those fine folks or those not so fine folks to see if they would be interviewed. it doesn't seem that way. I didn't, like, a lot of times you watch these documentaries, whether it's in the theater or at home or Netflix and chilling, and you see little disclaimers. The filmmakers reached out to this asshole and that asshole, but they did not want to comment, or they did not watch. Okay, part 2, folks. God and country. I'm just so upset with myself. I told myself, don't push the button because you'll fuck up your goddamn video. So what do? I push the fucking button. Law of fucking attraction, okay? So anyway, I'm just telling you that this movie, I think as a doc, it wasn't much better really than a YouTube video. Like, a high-made YouTube doc where, because some of these YouTube people really put their time in for their, kind of YouTube documentaries on items. I was watching some good stuff today about steel houses. I guess that was Vox, V-O-X, talking about the steel house trend that only lasted a few years, but there's still some of these remnants of steel houses. That was interesting. But this God and Country doc, basically it's making a case to be aware of and concerned about and fearful of these Christian nationalists, but I'd rather have some of the key people be interviewed, try to interview some of the people that we're supposed to be afraid of to see what the fuck they're thinking. You know what I mean? I don't think, and like I was saying in the prior half of this video, I don't see any evidence that these interviews were attempted or conducted or anything. Because typically in a documentary, if they reach out to someone who doesn't want to be interviewed, they put that in the doc. We reached out to this asshole, they refused comment or whatever the fuck. I didn't see that going on here. I just saw a lot of people kind of with the same type of opinion, and it was kind of a one-dimensional piece. And I've made better documentaries than this. Disregard the Vampire Mike Messier documentary. 13 award winner, you can see on One Man and a Camera Films, Rejected by Reality, for Christ's sakes. That's a wonderful documentary that I made. I just saw a very one-sided thing in this thing. Now, it wasn't horrible. It was well made. And yes, I'm probably aware of things more now than I was going into it. So I would still give this 2 3/4, 3 stars. I just don't feel like the why. Have you ever listened to good old Tony Robbins as he jumps into vats of ice cold water every morning? He says, I'm the why guy. People want to know the what. I'm the why guy. Well, this movie didn't give me the why. Why are these people doing these things or thinking these ways? Why are they so threatened? Why are they so scared? You tell us why let them tell us what they're thinking. Okay? So that's it. I mean, I don't think this doc is not going to stand above the ashes. It's going to be another thing that you flip around and you watch on Netflix or whatever the fuck. But is it like an all-time, forks over knives or whatever the fuck type of mind-blowing documentary experience? I just don't think so. You know what I mean? There's not a million, but there's several documentaries on Trump. There's several documentaries on this, that, and the other. And I just feel like this God and Country is just going to kind of blend in. I mean, it's not bad. It's not great. But I just feel like it could have been more. I don't want to say it was lazily made. I just feel like they didn't take the extra step of presenting people's perspectives that the filmmakers didn't agree with. And that's a great way to make your point, is let people speak for themselves. People that you don't agree with, people that you're afraid of, let them speak. And you can let them, maybe you find common ground, maybe you don't. But if you don't, then you've allowed them to speak these issues, and you can expose them if you think there's something that needs to be exposed. One of the great documentaries in modern times, I guess it's about 20 years old now, Capturing the Friedmans. I think that documentary, they went into that thinking they're making this PG-rated family documentary, and it turned into a whole other thing. I haven't watched that movie in a long time, but I do remember it was a game changer. God, now I'm coughing. Look at this hair. Jesus. I'm looking messiahistic myself. All right, folks, I'm going to call it quits here. But MikeMessier.com, I'm going to try to fucking compile this video together. You might be wondering, well, gee whiz, somebody commented. I get new viewers all the time. They need to be acclimated to my process here. This gentleman was wondering, you're making me dizzy. You're putting this flashlight on your face. Why don't you go inside and sit down? It's like, dude, this is Mike's instant movie review. Okay, now occasionally I fall behind and I have to do them later indoors in a studio setting. But the whole point of this exciting style of review, friend, is that I'm doing this immediately after seeing the movie. I'm not Googling other people's opinions before or after seeing the film. I'm not having my vision of a review tainted by other people's thoughts. I'm not conferring, or I'm not getting, confirmation bias or any of that horse shit. I'm telling you how I feel about the fucking movie. Immediately. That's the excitement. Aren't you excited? So in case this gentleman was wondering, why aren't you sitting in a fucking makeshift studio like every other asshole on YouTube? Because I'm this asshole on YouTube, okay? I'm doing things my way, like Frank fucking Sinatra fuck. Okay, folks, that's it. BuddyMikeMessier.com, me. Buy all my books, go to my website, scroll down, buy my books, do everything I say, Mike Messier.